Hey everyone, so this is my Read So Lit contribution. I would like to start by thanking Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading for starting Read So Lit, which is the hashtag we use to talk about Black authors within the diaspora. And obviously this month is February, which is Black History Month, where Dee Dee is also wants to celebrate specifically African American authors because of Black History Month here in the US, even though Read So Lit 365 exists and we observe all authors from the African diaspora. So today I am going to focus on my favorite author, which is Jesmyn Ward. So this is an author spotlight on her. This won't really be a biography or like me speaking about her life in detail, more so than I'm using this as a chance to talk to you about the 5 books she has and just to talk about her work. And if you are looking to read her work, where a good place might be for you to start. So I'm going to go in chronological order of books by publication. I have not read her books in order of publication, but I will let you know which ones I have read and what I think as we go through this video. So just a little bit about Jesmyn Ward. She is a contemporary writer. She is in her 30s. I'm not sure of her exact age. She grew up in Delsea, Mississippi, which has greatly influenced her writing. Majority of her novels happen in Mississippi. She is most known and most popular right now for winning the 2017 National Book Award for Sing Unburied Sing, and she won the 2011 National Book Award for her second book, Salvage the Bones. She is the first woman, period, to ever win 2 National Book Awards in the history of the award existing. And in 2017, she was also awarded the MacArthur Genius Award, where her and a slew of other people were given $625,000. They will be given this amount of money over 6 years, and it is literally just money for them to create whatever they would like. There is a voting committee, and you don't know you have been nominated really until you have won. So yes, so she now will have extra money to create. I also just read an article by Publishers Weekly announcing that Simon & Schuster has signed her for 2 more books. She is currently working on a novel about a slave woman who is being transported between North Carolina and New Orleans through one of the biggest slave auctions in America. So this will be a historical fiction. And she is also working on a children's or young adult, I can't remember if it's like a middle grade, but I think it might be young adult novel about a young Black girl in Mississippi who ends up having some type of magical abilities. So I am excited for those works. They do not have a title nor a publication date, but just know they are coming, and I am excited that she will have 2 more books coming out. I still have 2 more books to read by her, which will start with her first book, Where the Line Bleeds. This is a re-release. This was, let's see if it's in here, when it was first published. It was first published in 2008. This book is about 2 twin boys in Mississippi and how both lives turn out differently. One graduates from high school, goes to college, and the other gets stuck selling drugs. And in one of her interviews, I think it was with, she was in conversation with Edwidge Danticat, she discussed the death of her brother. Unfortunately, her younger brother was killed by a drunk driver when she graduated college, and she talks about the memory of her brother influencing her books, which influenced this book. So she thinks about the possible paths that her brother could have taken for his life if he were still alive, and thus this book came about. I'm giving you the short version, but that's pretty much that's pretty much what this book is about. I have not read this one yet. I made the mistake of thinking Salvage the Bones was her first novel. I don't think this one was well known. I surely didn't know about it until later on. And of course, they re-released it once she won the 2017 National Book Award. So the second book, which is her first National Book Award winner, Salvage the Bones, is about a 15-year-old, I think it's 15-year-old, yes, 15-year-old black girl in Mississippi who 10 days before Hurricane Katrina is supposed to hit, finds out she is pregnant. She is also dealing with her brother, who is a dog fighter. He has this pit bull that he's teaching him how to dog fight, and she is the protagonist is in charge of figuring out what they are going to do about what is she going to do, how is she going to help her family before Hurricane Katrina hits. She's already pretty much watching over them, but you know, she is not only dealing with the pregnancy but also this impending hurricane. And I have not read this yet, but the book does not include what happens with Hurricane Katrina, but it's leading up to Hurricane Katrina. And from what we all know about Hurricane Katrina, heightens the action of the story, and we know already how devastating that hurricane was. So a lot of people like this one as well. A lot of people I've run into who read this book are very much remember the dog in this book, China. And so I am intrigued on why this dog is so memorable. So I plan on getting to this book this year. So hopefully I get to this soon. The next book I'm going to talk about is how I was introduced to Jesmyn Ward myself, which was through her memoir, Men We Reaped. So in the beginning of my video, I talked about her brother being killed, but he was one of 5 men in her life that were killed within a 4-year time span. And she reflects on those deaths in this memoir. She also does a great job of weaving in her personal story, how she grew up, the trials and tribulations she has gone through personally. She talks about her parents, talks about her other siblings, and then she ties everything together in a more sociological way in how race, class, and gender has affected the outcome of their lives, and how also how the deaths came about and how the deaths were handled of these 5 men. This is an emotional book. I read this at work and I had to hide my tears. I had to go collect myself because the ending really got to me. Now, if you are somebody who is recently going through somebody passing, or there are trigger warnings for suicide in this book, this might be something you want to pass up right now. This is not a light read, but is a good read. And if you want to know about her personally, this is definitely the way to go. The next book I have read, this is a collection of essays that she edited. So this is The Fire This Time, A New Generation Speaks About Race. This is a collection of essays, obviously paying homage to James Baldwin, reflecting about race in America today. She personally wrote the introduction, and she does have another essay in here. Let me run and see what the name of that one is. Cracking the Code. And she was talking about her DNA. She got a DNA ancestry kit, did her, swapped her father, swapped her mom, and she talks about that. I'll be honest, my favorite essay in this collection is the one by Edwidge Danticat, which is the very last essay, which is it's also the strongest essay in this book, and I also think that's why she put it at the end of this book. It's a great essay. She did an excellent job crafting this book and asking, you know, certain people to put their narratives in here, and they all flow well together. So if you are in the mood for essays about race, you want to read a little bit by her and some other Black authors, this is a great collection to pick up. It is also out in paperback now. So the last and final Jesmyn Ward book I have is her newest title, Sing Unburied, Sing. This follows a teenage boy named Jojo who is biracial. He has a Black mother and a white father, and it follows them on a road trip to Parsons Prison to go pick up his father from jail. The mother is also a drug addict, so that makes the road trip very interesting. This is where Jesmyn Ward got most of her accolades as of late. They are comparing her to Toni Morrison and William Faulkner because she speaks a lot about the South and includes literal ghosts of the South. She talks about that she was inspired by true events, by a true prison where Black men and Black boys were sent to during, I think, the Jim Crow era, where they were sent. Sometimes they were just on the street, picked up by police, and they were sent there to work and die. I think the book is called The Half That's Never Been Told, which is a nonfiction book that she read. I can't remember the other nonfiction book she read for this one, but that's one of them. I love this book. I definitely cried with this one. I did a deep wailing just because something about her writing is cathartic. When it comes to me reading her work, somehow she has this way of pulling this pain out of, like, that you don't know was there, but it comes through in her writing. Like, you knew it was there, but you weren't really paying attention to it until she wrote about it. She also writes beautifully in this book. The prose is just beautiful. I had a coworker who listened to it on audiobook, and he said it was a great listen. It also had 3 actors reading the parts in here, which is important. If you have read this, there are 3 different perspectives this story is being told from. Yes, so pick up Jesmyn Ward. This is my gush. I obviously love her. I hope that came through on the video. I could still talk more and more about her books. I'm trying to keep it surface level so I don't ruin them for those who have not read them yet. But if you ever want to chat about Men We Reaped, if you ever want to chat about Sing Unburied, Sing, those are books that I personally love, and I always recommend Men We Reaped. If anyone, you want to just pick one, I say pick Men We Reaped. So let me know in the comments below if you plan on reading any of her work, if you have read her work yourself, and what you think of her as an author or her characters or anything like that. And I hope you all are having a wonderful Black History Month. I know I am, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.